2400 Y2K, and welcome back to Bird Dawgz. I know I messed it up the last time. That's my bad. Um, yeah, man. It's been a minute again. It's always gonna be a minute, man. But welcome back, Everybody settle in. You know what I mean? Get your snacks, chill out. Man, it's good to be back. Shit's just been happening in my personal life. So, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll get into that stuff someday, but not right now. My bad, y'all. I'm mad tired too. I got off work not that long ago, and I'm pretty tired, but I wanted to try and get this episode in. So let's do it. Man, you know what I was thinking about the other day is that guns are primitive, and that might sound stupid or but let me explain, right? Guns are mad primitive because it's just sending something at really fast speeds, right? It's just throwing a piece of metal at really fast speeds, and yeah, I don't know where I was gonna go with that. Sometimes you got to smile. Damn. Oh, you got now. Dog whistles. That's something I was thinking about the other day. Y'all know what dog whistles are. It's when it's you know how a dog can only hear the whistle, right? That's the right. Obviously, I don't gotta explain all that. So it's a term or some a phrase or something, even media. It's just any media, anything really. Anything can be a dog whistle, but it's meant to signal a group of people. An example I've seen is the well thing. And it's a racist dog whistle, right? And that's exactly what it is it's not meant to be a blatantly racist, right? To the average person, you hear well, you're what the fuck? You know what I mean? Who cares? But the deeper meaning is that's what white supremacists and racists say to be to say all that stereotypical black behavior, Asian behavior, or Mexican behavior, but mostly it's targeted towards black people. And there's a lot of shit like that. There's dog whistles for every group. There's all kinds of dog whistles. But I was thinking about that, man, and I see a lot of them, and it's really fucked up. It's really sick. And I don't know. I always believe in say it with your chest, big dog. And the internet's kind of ruined that. And I'm not gonna be one of them old heads that come on here and be oh man, oh yeah, if I could say it to your face, man, nah, I know it's not gonna be like that. I know it's not gonna be like that again, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm not with all the racist dog whistles. With any of the dog whistles, really. That goes for leftist shit. I don't know, but it's more of a right wing thing, because not even right wing, just old far right groups are too lost in the sauce. White supremacists use it a lot. That's pretty much the only group I can really identify it with solidly is the Pepe memes, right? Pepe's been taken by the right, or shit never lose your smile. That one's I learned about that one the other day. That's a weird one, right? It's they be wearing the little skull mask or whatever. I don't know. It's supposed to be the SS skull or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. It means I don't know. I'm not involved in those groups like that. So I don't really get I get the messages never lose your smile. Don't stop being a Nazi. Don't let them take you out, I guess. I don't know. But the phrase itself, right? You wouldn't think anything of it. Never lose your smile. Oh, that's a nice thing to say. and then it's like then they show like the little skeleton mask or whatever. It's just weird shit like that. Online culture is weird, and yeah, I don't know if I rock with like that. But that was something I was thinking about the other day. I don't know why I went off on that, but dog whistles are no bueno, no good. I was thinking about that, man. Like just the internet in general, the culture, and like just the way that the far right and the far left and like those spaces are, and I don't know. There's problems with both, right? I don't know. I don't want to get into politics. I was just kind of thinking about like I don't know if I want to get into all that here. But I've been watching a lot of debate stuff. I've been like because the election's coming up, and I've gotten older and like I care more about politics and like you know what I mean, like because a lot of people don't think about it because it doesn't shape like it's not involved in your direct life, but if it is, but it does affect your life like on a major scale. We don't think about it till shit happens, or like it doesn't seem like it can affect us until it does. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't care about politics," and a lot of people are like, "Oh, whatever happens, happens." I'm just like, no, you have a say in that. You know what I mean? You do, and I don't know. For a long time, I was like, "Fuck it," you know what I mean? Fuck the elections, they're rigged, But it's a very complex system. That's a lot of moving parts, and I start to question the validity of that. Of like, are they really rigged? Is it really like, you know what I mean? And I don't know. The world's changing constantly with like online services and like the internet and stuff like that. Like it becomes increasingly hard to do stuff like that. Like it'd be pretty hard to keep it. I think it'd be pretty hard to keep a cabal up now, because even now people talk about like the Rothschilds and what's the other guys, the Rockefellers, and like that's kind of more common knowledge now. So I think it'd be a lot harder to do. I don't know why I'm stuttering and everything. I think it'd be a lot harder to do now though. And so I don't know. I think voting matters. I think that's a base of our country. I think that it wasn't taught well enough in schools or made to feel like a very real part in our everyday lives when it affects like the like the cigarettes thing. They changed it to 21. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it is something that changed, right? And a lot of people were upset. I was upset, you know what I mean? So and it's stuff like that where it does matter, and it will change. And so I think that voting does matter, and especially local elections, you should vote in, because that affects you more personally than anything, right? They move the money around, and they can fund this, they can do that. I'm sorry I'm saying that a lot. Like I said, I'm tired, but yeah, I think that voting is important, and I've been watching a lot of debates and trying to get more into the political sphere. So yeah, that's basically my little point there. But I don't think I'm gonna get too much further into it. I don't really want to, because it's complicated. Like I don't really take sides like that. Both sides are bad. I think conservatives are batshit crazy though, and yeah, that's just my take on it. There's more to it, and someday I might share it, but for now I don't think I'm gonna share it. That did get me thinking about though. It's like it made me think. The election started making me think of like dictatorships, right? And like monarchies, aristocracies, stuff like that. And I was really thinking about it, and I was like, damn son, like that would have been hell to live in. And like people be in your ear in the same type of way they are now about like, oh, they wouldn't do that, like the king loves us, or like, why would you want this system to change? Like it works so well now. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't, dude. Like people are in the feudal system, like trying to fight for their rights, or be like, this this cornfield is fucking garbage. I hate it here. I hate everything here. It stinks like shit. Fucking the king does nothing for us. He eats all the time. I've seen him fucking twice in my entire life. I'm fucking 20 years old. I'm gonna die soon. My life's almost over. The oldest guy in our village is 35 and he's a legend. You know what I mean? And like, man, that's a crazy thing and that's just my interpretation of it, right? Obviously there's thousands, millions of people, I think, right? There's millions of people at that point. I don't know, because I know that for a while civilization was like hundreds of thousands. Anyways, I think there's like millions of people at this point, and it's like, I get it, there's different perspectives, but I like to imagine it like that. I think the medieval period is a fun period to imagine whimsy. Also, sorry for my voice. I'm a little sick right now, so that's why it sounds a little weird too. But anyways, the medieval period, man. That's what I wanted to talk about today. That's really what I've been feeling, man. The medieval times. Something fierce, something ferocious, something whimsical. And that's the part that I like to think about. You know what I mean? Because I know it's serious, right? I know I can take all the history and the facts and shit like the plague and politics and, you know what I mean? I know that all factors in. And I know that's all very real. But I'm a human, and that's not fun to imagine, right? What's fun to imagine is what it's like to be, you know what I mean? And mind you, again, this is my interpretation, because I understand that the plague exists. I understand that shit is not all peaches and cream, and that a lot of people died, and a lot of people got sick, and it was not all fun and games, especially for the poor. But that was a long time ago. They're dead now, so I feel like I feel like enough time has passed where I can talk about it how I want to. So I think it's more whimsical, right? I think you wake up, number one, you don't really have a sense of time. I mean, you have a sense of time. That's the only thing you have, though, right? Like most peasants and just regular folk of the era, anywhere in the world, really, they don't have clocks. They don't have watches. They don't have timepieces. You know what I mean? Nobody's keeping track of time. Well, they are, but it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? Especially with like memory loss, and that's a whole nother topic I want to get into, is like mental illness in the medieval / dark / up until like, I'd say even like the 1900s, which the 1900s is like a brutal period for like mental health. But anyways, you wake up, nobody really knows it. The sun's up though. That's your tracker, right? You just sun up, sun down, sun up, sun down. So you're like, sun's up, so it's morn. You wake up, you walk out there. It's like a bunch of bricks, It's no, not even bricks, my bad. It's like stones, right? It's stones stacked on. There's stone walls. Like your house is like a thatch roof. I'll give you a setting, you know what I mean? Because this is kind of more specific to Europeans. Because it is different everywhere in different time periods, and I'm sure in Asia it's different, and right now in Africa it's different. In the Americas, so we're talking European, right? And we're in I don't know anywhere in England. We're in not ancient, but medieval Liverpool, right? I don't know anything about Liverpool, but we're there. Hold on, let me pull up. I gotta look at this place. I gotta get my eyes on this, right? I really gotta get into the story, because I want you to understand. I want to put you into the shoes of a medieval peasant. And you know what? I might go through a few different stories. We might go through medieval peasant. We might go through, we already went through the jester a little bit. What it's like being the king. I might even tell the perspective of the horse. I don't know. I really fuck with medieval times. If you couldn't tell, that's my shtick. That's my oomph, my niche. I mean, I got a lot of interests, but like medieval, I think about it all the time. That's my Rome, right? And I think about Rome a lot too, but I think about like medieval England and those places a little bit more, because it's less civilized. You know what I mean? Rome had like, aqueducts and like, streets and coliseums and marble. And England, and they were kind of what do you call it, like Celt. Like, I don't want to say Viking because they weren't Viking. They didn't have like blonde hair. You ever watch Brave? It was like Brave, right? They're like they're foresty people. They're real similar to the Germans, right? Isn't that the Anglo-Saxon? Like the Germans are like Saxons or something. I don't know, something like that, right? They're very I don't know how to explain this. They're very Viking-like to the untrained, to the non-historical. They're very Viking-like. They eat. Fuck. I don't know how to describe it. It's you wear a lot of skins. Or you wear a lot of animal skins. Plaid is very in fashion. They like plaid. A lot of rough housing, the men, you know what I mean? And not even necessarily like, murder or blood sports. But I mean, just a lot of wrestling, a lot of, like boxing, bare knuckle boxing. Just getting rough in the mud. Like, you know what I mean? Just think about it. I gotta pull this place up. I still haven't pulled it up. I've been too into it. We'll go, like, what year is medieval? Oh, I don't know if you can hear the ringing in the background. There's a phone ringing. Oh, man. Oh, I got my eyes on this place, right? So it's like, you wake up, right? And it's like grass. It's kind of, there's a river nearby, right? This looks like a lot of places on Earth, but like, you recognize it, it's kind of got a marsh thing going on. There's a lot of mud. It's like where Shrek lived a little bit, kind of a bog, not quite a swamp. Like they got some bogginess going on, right? A lot of horse flies, a lot of mosquitoes. You wake up, right? You fucking, what do you wear, right? What do you wear? Animal skins, probably. Throw on some animal skins. I think you throw on maybe. Wolf seems a little, played out. I don't know if people really, wearing wolves like that. We'll say elk, right? Yeah. You got a nice elk shirt on, or maybe it's cloth. But I like to think it's elk. We're gonna go with elk. You got an elk shirt on. That's already swaggy. That's already crazy. That's already way more like whimsical than today, right? Custom elk shirt. Who made it? Maybe mom made it. Maybe wife made it. I mean, who made it? Probably not you. You probably killed the thing, but you went out there and sun dried it, and tanned it. You see what I'm saying? And like the family dynamic's a lot stronger back then. Like, it's not weird to live at home at like 25. You know what I mean? It's not weird to live at home at like 30, right? Because like the second you leave, bandits are gonna kick in your door. They're gonna kick in your door, kid. They're gonna hurt your family. Like, no way, man. For what, too? Like, just because, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is a wild time period, right? We think it's crazy that like the 1940s and stuff, like there was no cameras, you know what I mean? There's no none of that. We're like, man, crime, all that, like it was a lot easier. It was a lot more wild back then. And there's nothing in this time period. There's no, like, people are just nuts, bro. Like, people will just put on a little masky mask, a little piece of clothy cloth. You know what I mean? Something's head, like an animal head. You like kick in someone's door with a fucking big ass knife, dude, and you're like, give me all your goods. Like they have no choice, all right? Like that's the reality. That's the reality of the shit. That's what I'm talking about. Shit ain't sweet. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand that shit is not sweet, but You wake up, right? You wake up in your elk. You put your elk on, put some pantaloons on. You stroll out there. You stroll out to the village, right? The village is popping. There ain't a cell phone in sight. Like, you know what I mean? There's just people are walking. I mean, people are at the tavern eating. People are at the, you know what I mean? People are out and about because there ain't shit to do. Let's be honest here. If it's, 15, I think we're talking 1500s, right? 15, 14, we're talking 1400. Also, I got it conflicted a little bit there earlier. They're not exactly bog people at this point, right? I guess, I got that a little misconstrued. That's kind of what they were. They were like real Viking, like, that was, and that still bled through a little bit. But, as we all know, as time went on, the British became like, pompous asses, you know what I mean? And that's why they lost. That's why they lost the war. But anyways, at this point, things are a little more civil, right? People have real clothes, I guess. Because I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, these time periods don't add up really, They're not really, the Queen Boudica and all that. Like, that's a little bit earlier. That's when they were fighting Rome and stuff, right? That's when Rome's hopping. We're going to go a little bit later where England's kind of on top now, but you wake up, you throw on a swaggy ass white cotton. I don't know. I think they're using cotton in this time period. You throw on some swag, you go outside, and the town's popping. People are drinking, right? Because it's safer than water. People are, some people are dying, right? It definitely, some people have definitely gotten sick and died. Like I said, shit can just happen too. Like something, people just run up in your house, kill you. Shit, you could fucking stray ash, like something could burn your house down, lightning. And man, it's such a complex topic. Like, there's so much to go into, right? Because that's another thing I was thinking about, right? Is like, in this period, there's no science, dude. There's no science. So like, I mean, there is, but it's real loose, and anybody that really believes in science is getting like killed. So there's no science. So when bad shit happens, like, you don't really have any logic. Like, nowadays we can figure it out, right? Like, if your car crashes, like, you come up with a logical like fallacy, right? You're like, well, this happened, this is how it could have been prevented. I was speeding, a hydroplaned, whatever. Like, you can figure it out, right? You don't. But like back then, like, some shit happens, like your house is on fire, like you really truly in your heart believe, like, no bullshit, the same way we believe facts, evidence, and reason, like 100% no bullshit. When we know something's real, when I can look at the sky and say it's blue, when I can call water H2O, those are undeniable facts. That's how you feel about like God and stuff. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, really. That's the fucking crazy part. It don't matter if you're in you're in the Middle East. It don't matter if you're in Asia, anywhere, right? Like some bad shit happens, you're blaming God. Like a drought happens, like you're blaming God. People are getting sacrificed. Even in England, like some shit happens, like God did it, you know what I mean? And like, we gotta rectify this. We gotta make up for this. We gotta kill something. We gotta burn something down, right? Crusade's a whole different topic, but man, right? So like, your house burns down. Shit's wild. That's what I'm talking about. The way that events affect us in the world today, like a storm happens and you go out in the neighborhood the next day and shit looks crazy. Imagine that, but like way back then, right? You don't have like the logic of like, oh, it was just a storm. You're like, oh my. And people are lying, right? People are lying through their teeth, right? Because that's what you do. You want attention, right? Because human mentality hasn't changed all that much. You want attention. People always lie. People always embellish stories. Everyone knows someone like that. You know what I mean? I've done it. Like, everyone does it, where you tell a story and you stretch the truth a little bit. You make shit seem a little more crazy than it was. Right? So a storm blows through your village. Homie's house gets hit by lightning, burns down. People are dead. Crazy. You ask somebody, what happened last night? You know what I mean? I was sleeping, like, I didn't know. And they go, the Kraken, you didn't see it? You go, what? And they go, no, you didn't see the Kraken. And you go, no, dude, I was in, what? Like, yep, apparently I was the only one that saw it last night. Like, this fucking devious liar, dude. Like, his genes, like his son's son will be a jester, and it will be great. But that's a topic, different video. But yeah, he's out there. He's like, yeah, the Kraken came through, man. He was breaking shit. He was causing all types of damage. 100 feet tall, big ass tentacles, breathing fire. You know what I mean? Mean ass fucking mean guy. Just, the devil. This guy was breathing fire. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you're like, what the fuck? What do you mean it's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life? And it's like, yo, you know what I mean? Exactly what I said, dog. The Kraken came through. He blew the whole town down. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you believe that wholeheartedly because you don't have any way to verify. And it seemed legit. That's the science of the time, right? There's no science to tell you otherwise. There's no, the last guy that said some shit that was like, oh, well, this, that's not scientifically proven. He got burned. They strung him up and burned him. I will not. No. So you believe that, and you go on with that, and you take that with you. Right. So this is that, right? We'll go with that scenario, right? Town's fucking just crazy, right? So your parents send you on a task, right? You're 25. They're 30. They're really old looking. They're gonna die soon. They're on their deathbeds. Like you said, the oldest guy in your village is 35. Everyone dies. Everyone, there's a bad period to be in. Which I don't know how true that is, right? I've heard the thing where it's like, well, actually, it was just there's some sort of statistic where like people die. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I like it for my story. So they're like, you gotta get us milk. And like, well, Mom, Dad, the town is destroyed. People are dead. The Kraken did it. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, James told me that the Kraken did it. And you're like, well, son, we must have angered God. So, now that it's over, though, you gotta go get the milk. So you gotta go to get the milk, right? This could be a long task right there. Like, you gotta go 4 miles through the mountain. Well, okay, 4 miles. 2 miles are on the mountain, and then 2 are just on plains, right? And you got to go to Old Man Schumacher's, or Sir Wellington of Coxborough, right? Of Shittington. And you got to go to this guy's house. You got to get the milk, right? He's got cows and stuff. Nobody else has cows locally, right? Because this is medieval times. Nobody fucking has cows. Nobody has the money for cows. You kidding me? Nobody has fucking cattle. Only rich people. Only like, people with some sort of money, some sort of value. You live in a shack. Like, you farm potatoes and like you do odd jobs, right? Because that's how you make money. if you're even doing that, if you're not a fucking thief, like if you're not straight up just a bandit or criminal already, right? If you're not Robin Hood already, then in your fucking, you don't own cows, right? That's the point. So you go to this guy's. Well, and you're on your way there. You decide to pick up your homie. What's an English last name? Arthur. You pick up your homie, Quintel Arthur. Yep. And you and Quintel, you go on I don't like it. I don't like the name. You and Archibald Feathercock. You and Archibald go on this journey, right? You pick up Archibald because Archibald don't have shit to do either. He also heard about the devil coming into town last night. He also heard about the Kraken story. So he's just as jazzed as you are. And he, his parents are like, you gotta get the fuck out of the house. Like, you know how it is. Like, I kind of get it, the movies about dragons and shit, that stuff didn't happen. But the average day, like, kind of. Like, right, so you go to fucking, you get Archibald. So you and Archibald, you head off on a journey to go get this milk because it's 4 miles. And you walk And soon, you're just in a field, right? This is not today. Like, there's no buildings, there's no signs, there's no Google, there's no nothing. You're just in a fucking field. There's nothing plowed. There's still like just grass and shit. You see like a hut, right? It's made out of like mud and stone. This thing is like illy crafted, right? This thing is not made to hold up. This thing is a piece of garbage. And you look inside, and there's you're like, well, first of all, you go, there's smoke coming out of, your thoughts start to run, right? You're like, I could rob this guy. I'm hungry. I'm already on my, like, you could, that's probably your first thought. And then you go, maybe you go, I just want to, I want to see, I want to get curious. You can't really do that anymore. You know what I mean? Curiosity, you can, but I'm telling you, man, it's just not the same. Right, so you go to this old man's hut, or there's an old man inside, right? You peek inside this old man. What are you doing here? What's this hut for? What is going on? And he goes, I'm Merlin. I'm Merlin the Mage, right? Not the Merlin the Mage, but this is a Merlin the Mage. Because I'm Merlin the Mage. You go, oh, what a mage. You really believe this guy's magic, right? No way to tell. No way. You know what I mean? You don't have any scientific thing to back up that no, he's not magic. But, you think he's magic. And he's like, he's doing alchemy, and it's like crazy ass shit, right? He's like, I mixed hog piss with this liter of electrocuted water, and I shook it up, and I put it and I heated it up. You know what I mean? Like, he's going nuts, right? He's thinking he's onto something. He's thinking he's making fire potions. He's cat's vision. You know what I mean? NVGs, but the medieval edition. This fool's a nut, right? And that's like a little interaction like you just have on the way, right? And then he's like, well, you boys heard about the magic beans, right? And you're like, what? I mean, why does everyone keep telling me this crazy shit, right? And this is probably like, this is just one day, mind you, right? This is just one day in your entire experience, and this could definitely happen. Keep in mind, this could definitely happen. And he goes, I got magic beans for you boys. Or you boys can find some magic beans. And you go, what? And he gives you a fucking map. And like, you know what I mean? He gives you a homemade map, a hand-drawn map. And it's a pretty good looking map. And he's like, you go here, X mark the spot, you find the beans. The beans grow people. I don't know, like some crazy shit, right? They could tell you anything. The beans grow, I'm trying to think. I don't know. What do people back then value? The beans grow horses. The beans grow knives. Okay, the beans grow 1,000 crops. Okay, these beans can grow 1,000 crops. So you go, hell yeah. So you follow this fucking map. It leads you on a wild journey on its own, right? You could get attacked by a bear, a wolf. You can get fucking, right? You're trying to go get milk. But like, you gotta complete the side quest, right? Because this is something interesting. This is something crazy. And like, you really believe all this shit, right? Like this, and you're not sketch. Most people are probably not going to be sketch because you're so bored. There's nothing to do. I seen a thing that said, we used to make crazy ass sculptures. Like, it was the veins on someone's arm that they sculpted. Like, it was such a detailed sculpture. It was like Michelangelo. And someone said, yeah, we didn't have shit to do. Of course our craft was going to be better. That's why architecture looks so good. That's why everything used to look so good. And, because we didn't have shit else to do. So we did shit like that. And hey, you go on, you know what I mean? You go on this adventure, and that's just one day, right? And I just think that's fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, you believe ghost stories, you believe everything everyone tells you. The sailors, especially people who go to other countries and stuff. And you're like, what'd you see? And it's like, there was a deity there. You know what I mean? He was fucking awesome. He gave us, gold and money. It's all this stuff. But we blew it before we got back, so too bad, so sad. And he's never coming back, so you don't get to see him. But he did exist. And you're like, oh, that sucks. But like, you really believe that? It's like the Bigfoot thing, but like on a way scarier scale, right? Because most people do believe it. The general public genuinely believes it. And like, and people just keep lying. People just keep lying. You know what I mean? They keep spitting this line. And that also plays into the part that I was talking about where it's like the mental illness. You know what I mean? What was that like throughout history? Because, right, mental illness / mental disability existed all throughout history. Like, right, it has to have. It had to have. Like, it has to. And so I was thinking about that. And, like, I seen this post on Twitter where, like, it was this fucking right-wing dude. By the way, I have a burner. So, like, don't think that, like, I'm just on alt-right Twitter, like, going crazy. But I seen a post that was like, we should just, Hitler had the right idea. We should just kill, or we should just, like, put down. I don't know what I can say for YouTube. I don't know what's safe. Euthanize all, he said that we should euthanize all disabled people. Or whatever. Hitler said that. I don't know if I can say his name. Mustache Man. See, I don't want to be like TikTok. Like, I'm gonna say Hitler if I want to say Hitler. But like, how it's like, oh, like he had the right idea of like we should kill all handicaps, or like we should euthanize all handicaps. Which, just so YouTube hears this and I don't get my shit striked. I don't believe that. I do not hold those beliefs. That is not my words. That is a post I read on Twitter. Do not quote me on that. That is not me saying that. Because I've had troubles before. Like, I've had people like my shit get. And I don't know how much I can go into, but yeah, it wasn't cool. And Lord YouTube, please don't take my channel away. You know what I mean? But and I thought to myself, like, that's so stupid and an absurd take, especially with someone who's never been around or had somebody in their family with disabilities. I'm more so speaking on disabilities and mental illness on this part, because I believe mental illness is a lot more common than we think it is, and it's a lot less hard, or it's a lot less easy to spot and identify, especially throughout history with no diagnosis and stuff. But I'm more so speaking of mental disability, especially. I think they would have been loved, like, you know what I mean? I think. Like, I don't think it's like, I don't know, I don't believe that theory that like people, survival of the fittest, like they just died and perfect genes and they just got killed off and stuff. I don't believe that. I just can't see that. Like, I don't see a mother, you know what I mean? I've been around mothers, and I know how a lot of mothers are, and like, regardless of disability or anything like that, regardless of their kid makes them mad, or there's some falling out or something, they genuinely love their kids. And I get that there's all kinds of mothers, right? There's abuse, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that I don't think that as a human race we would have just let our disabled children, brothers, sisters, comrades just die. Like, I don't believe that. And I you know what I mean, if we had to do some extra things to take care of them, if we had to get extra food, you know what I mean, because they can't hunt, they can't gather, I don't believe it's just like a baby, you know what I mean? Like, babies can't do anything fundamentally. They're like useless, you know what I mean? We don't just leave babies. And I believe some similar exists with disability, or mental disabilities in ancient, medieval, and throughout history. Is I don't think we would just leave them. I don't think we would just kill them. I don't think we would just let bad things happen to them. I don't think we would just abandon them. I think humans have a lot stronger and closer bond. And I just wanted to get on that a little bit, because disability, I think, has always existed. It's an interesting thing, and I've seen, with that take I saw about how he was right. I just don't agree with that. I think that that's insane, and that even people who don't conventionally fit into society, or what I mean, they can't necessarily do like work, right, in the modern sense, like and back then, what I mean, I just don't think that we would cast them aside, throw them out. We don't do that now, and granted, we're different from humans 1,000 years ago, but we're also the same in many ways. And I think that's one way that, like, yes, I'm sure it happened, but on a mass scale, I really don't think so. I don't think that even, you know what I mean, if my brother was, let's say, Down syndrome in whatever time period, I don't think I would hate him. I don't think I would leave him to rot. I don't, you know what I mean? I just don't see that happening. But yeah, it made me think about the disability part. Made me think about mental illness throughout history. And what really got me thinking is there's this story about this. I think it's Roman. I want to say it's either Greek or Roman. I want to say Roman though. Leader, emperor, I believe, who sent his troops to attack the ocean. He declared war on the ocean. This is no bullshit neither. You can look this up. He declared war on the ocean and had the men bring back shells as like trophies or as like proof of like a kill. And I can't help to think to myself that seems mentally, you know what I mean, not right. Because even emperors and leaders and people of the time understood that the ocean was not living. They understood that you couldn't just stab the ocean. They understood that there was living creatures in the ocean, whales, fish, things like that. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think this guy was all there. And that's interesting to me, especially in the sense or in the way that leaders back then, like leaders throughout history, a lot of leaders have had mental disabilities, and up until recently we haven't been able to identify them, or you know what I mean, come up with words for certain stuff, or come up with these certain whatever. And a lot of times they won't be subjected to that, right? Because they're rulers and they think they're above that, or that's embarrassing, or you know what I mean, they would never have a mental illness. But a lot of them, it seems like they did, or you know what I mean, like psychosis and depression, bipolar, things like that. And I just think that that's interesting. We are a little bit over. I'm gonna have to edit some stuff out of this, so we might be all right. But I think I'm gonna call it here. Sorry about this one. I was mad tired. I just got off of work, so my bad if this one's kind of slow or if this one feels different. Like I was mad tired, but I knew I had to record something. I haven't got anything out in October, and shame on me. Wag the finger at me. That's my bad. But I wanted to get something out. I wanted to record something. And in the start of this, I wasn't in the flow, so I don't know how much of that's going to be in here. I might record a new intro. I might not. You guys might not hear this part, but you also might, because I get lazy in editing. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's been your host. I hope you enjoyed. I think this one's, going to be titled something medieval. I just wanted to talk about it because I thought about it the other day, and I think it's an interesting period to analyze, and it's fun to analyze and think about. I had fun with this one. I hope y'all did too. Give me feedback, comment, like, share, subscribe. Again, my bad. I'm about to pass out. As soon as I end this recording, I'm gonna go to bed. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Let me know. I might try to get some more content out there soon, like different content. And this one should also have gameplay. Let me know what you guys thought of that. I had fun with the Batman stuff, so I don't know what game this is gonna be, but it'll be something. Anyways, guys, it's been your boy 2400 Y2K. Don't forget it. Check out my Instagram. My Twitter handle is TBoogieLLC, but that's not as important. Mainly just check out my Instagram. That's where I post all my story, update, shit like that, whatnot. Just my personal. And yeah, guys, I had a lot of fun making this one. And you guys have a good one. I'm out.
Bitch, what we doing here?